Juice of the Bulletproof Fixer, Chapter 1, The Underground Awakening. Scene 1, The Underground EDM Show. The pounding beats of electronic music reverberate through an undisclosed warehouse location that's accessed through a maze of alleyways and a nondescript side door. Security is tight, but lax enough to allow for an atmosphere of euphoric freedom. Lasers dance along the walls, casting eerie shadows on graffiti art that appears to have been curated rather than spontaneously created. Industrial fans blow cool air through the space, mixing with the haze of a fog machine and the subtle aroma of incense. As you enter, you're welcomed by an indistinct chatter, a cacophony of voices excitedly discussing DJs, subgenres, and streetwear labels. People are dressed in an eclectic mix of styles: goth rave, cyberpunk, futuristic sportswear, and avant-garde fashion. Some have opted for minimal clothing, covered instead in neon body paint. Yumi walks in, her eyes widening at the spectacle. She's dressed in an outfit that represents her unique style: cargo pants with asymmetrical pockets, a cropped tank top that bears an obscure band logo, and a colorful bomber jacket. Her hair is styled into loose waves, and she wears chunky sneakers that add inches to her height. Yumi, this is it. This is where I can be myself. No rules, just pure, unfiltered energy. But what's that cage doing there? Scene 2, The Cage and its Challenger. Directly in the center of the warehouse, an ominous steel cage stands under a single spotlight. It's an out-of-place addition to the setting, like a scar that's yet to heal. It looks professional, used, with wear marks on the bars and chipped paint. Inside the cage, a massive, hulking figure looms, half-shadowed, half-illuminated, with fists like cinder blocks and a glare that can make the bravest soul reconsider their life choices. A petite host wearing a silver sequin jumpsuit and a headset mic takes the stage next to the cage. She exudes an air of control that somehow commands the attention of the raving crowd. Host, all right, you gorgeous creatures, who among you has the guts to take on our reigning champ? Brutus the Giant. This is an open challenge, my loves, and the prize is this beauty. She points to a golden belt studded with mock gems and elaborate engraving that reads Underground King. A small table next to her holds other trophies, a pile of cash, some VIP concert tickets, and other various trinkets that seem to have been donated by local businesses and artists. The crowd goes into a frenzy, but the excitement is tinged with irony. Many have seen Brutus take down opponent after opponent in previous events, and there's an unspoken agreement that the challenge is more of a theatrical spectacle than a genuine competition. Challengers are often fueled by a mix of bravado and liquid courage, and they rarely last more than a few seconds in the cage with the giant. Yumi, this is barbaric. Why would anyone willingly step into that cage? It's like throwing yourself into a lion's den. As she scans the crowd, Yumi notices a man starting to move toward the cage. Middle-aged, muscular, with an air of purpose that immediately sets him apart from the other attendees. It's almost as if the sea of people parts for him, either out of respect or instinctual caution. Yumi, who is this guy? He doesn't fit here, but at the same time, he doesn't seem out of place. It's like he belongs in a different world entirely. Her intuition tells her to keep an eye on this man, for her night, and indeed her entire life, is about to change in ways she can't yet fathom. Juice of the Bulletproof Fixer, Chapter 1, The Underground Awakening. Scene 3, An Unexpected Challenger, Tony. The crowd's frenzied excitement begins to wane as no one volunteers to step into the cage. Just when the host is about to announce a carryover of the prize to the next event, the middle-aged man that caught Yumi's attention starts to move. This is Tony the Fixer. Wearing an inconspicuous outfit that belies his undercurrent of confidence, Tony's entrance is a paradox. He's dressed in a tailored black bomber jacket with embroidered patches, dark jeans, and combat boots, functional but with an edge of style. A hint of tattoo ink peeks out from under his sleeve. His beard is perfectly trimmed, and his eyes are hidden behind mirrored aviator sunglasses even though they are indoors. There's a palpable change in the air, like the atmospheric pressure drops a fraction as he approaches the cage. Host, well, do we have a challenger? Tony nods and walks into the cage, removing his sunglasses to reveal eyes that have clearly seen more than most. The door slams shut behind him, the clang of metal echoing throughout the warehouse, overshadowed only by the increasingly loud thump of the EDM beats. Yumi, okay, this guy has my attention. He moves like a predator but has the eyes of a protector. What's his game? The host hurriedly checks her notes, clearly unaware of who this mysterious challenger is. She tries to improvise to build the drama, but the tension is already self-sustaining. Host, ladies, gentlemen, we have a new challenger. Let's see if this brave soul can do the impossible. Scene 4, A Shocking Victory. Brutus snorts derisively as Tony enters his domain, clearly unimpressed by the man who dared to challenge him. The giant's fists clench, veins popping out as he prepares to make short work of this interloper. Tony, on the other hand, seems completely unperturbed. He takes a moment to circle the perimeter of the cage, almost as if he's doing a system check. He looks at the latches, the posts, the gloves laid out at the corners. It's as though he's absorbing details, making mental calculations, or perhaps reading the very air for weaknesses and opportunities. The host gives the signal, and Brutus lunges forward with a roar, aiming to end this as quickly as possible. But Tony is faster, sidestepping with an agility that defies his age and size. He dodges a follow-up punch, and then another, each evasion smoother than the last. The crowd gasps as they realize that Tony isn't just surviving, he's orchestrating the fight. Finally, as Brutus telegraphs a sweeping haymaker, Tony spies his opportunity. In a move that blends the elegance of a dancer with the precision of a sniper, he pivots and lands a decisive blow straight to the giant's jaw. The impact reverberates through the crowd even before Brutus' massive frame hits the ground. There's a split-second pause, a collective inhale from the audience, before they erupt into cheers and shouts of disbelief. Yumi, for her part, can barely process what she's just seen. Yumi, how? That was unreal. The way he moved, it's like he knew exactly what was going to happen. It's like he saw a path through chaos. In this scene, Tony the Fixer reveals a fragment of his true capabilities, but only enough to raise more questions than answers. The atmosphere in the warehouse changes dramatically. People realize that this is no longer just an EDM party with a fighting gimmick. Something extraordinary has happened. Something that defies explanation, and everyone, especially Yumi, feels the pull of an unfolding mystery. The crowd is no longer merely a collection of individuals but a unified entity, sharing in the awe and wonderment. The host is speechless, and the DJ transitions to a beat that echoes the heartbeat of every person in the room. It's a crescendo of collective emotion, a tipping point in the evening's narrative, and, for Yumi, the catalyst for an adventure she never sought but is destined to undertake. Juice of the Bulletproof Fixer, Chapter 1, The Underground Awakening. Scene 5, Tony's departure. As the crowd erupts into cheers, a couple of assistants hastily drag the unconscious Brutus out of the cage. Tony stands in the center, looking neither elated nor disappointed. He's handed the championship belt, which he holds almost indifferently for a moment before setting it down on the corner post of the cage. The host, still in disbelief, tries to salvage the moment. Host, give it up for our new underground king, everyone. Do you have anything you'd like to say? Tony leans into the microphone, his eyes scanning the crowd until they lock onto Yumi's. Tony, sometimes the hardest battles are the ones we fight within ourselves. Remember that. The crowd is silent, pondering the unexpected depth of his words. He steps out of the cage and begins to walk away, but not before Yumi notices something unusual. Tony quickly pulls out his phone and begins typing something. It doesn't look like he's sending a text message or surfing the web. His fingers move rapidly as if he's entering some kind of code. Yumi, what's he doing? That doesn't look like a regular phone interface. It looks like a terminal window. Is he hacking something? Why here? Why now? Before Yumi can ponder further, the entire warehouse goes dark. Emergency lights flicker on, casting an eerie red glow over the bewildered crowd. The music stops abruptly, replaced by the rustle of hundreds of confused and anxious voices. When the regular lighting returns seconds later, Tony is nowhere to be found. Scene 6, The Mysterious Smoothie Recipe. Still trying to make sense of what just happened, Yumi's phone buzzes. It's a direct message notification. On one of her social media apps, she unlocks her phone to find an anonymous link to a smoothie recipe. The sender's profile is blank, no name, no picture, no posts. Yumi, a smoothie recipe. What kind of joke is this? Especially after what just happened. Wait, could it be? No, it can't be from him. But then again, who else could it be? A tingle of intuition urges her to open the link. As she reads the ingredients, acai berries, chia seeds, spirulina, something called mystic lotus root, she can't help but feel this isn't just another smoothie recipe. It feels like a coded message, or perhaps an invitation to something greater. Yumi, mystic lotus root. That's not something you find at the grocery store. This has to be more than just a smoothie. It feels like a potion. A recipe for unlocking something buried deep within. With the strange events of the evening culminating in this equally strange message, Yumi is overwhelmed yet intrigued. She looks around the now calm warehouse, everyone seemingly back to their revelry, and wonders whether she's the only one who senses that a boundary has been crossed. That reality has been tweaked ever so slightly. As she ponders, she can't shake the feeling that this mysterious recipe, and the even more mysterious Tony are connected, both outliers in an already bizarre night, beckoning her toward a journey of self-discovery and chaos. Yumi's night started as a simple escape from the daily grind, a foray into a world of music and individualism. But as she stands there, holding her phone with the mysterious smoothie recipe on the screen, she senses that her life is on the cusp of an incredible transformation. What she doesn't know is how deep the rabbit hole goes, how complex the web of events is that she's now a part of, or how the man known as Tony the Fixer will soon become a linchpin in her unfolding story of intrigue, mysticism, and hidden powers. Juice of the Bulletproof Fixer, Chapter 2, Harmony and Discord. Scene 1, Yumi's Smoothie Shop. The Paradox. Yumi walks into Pulse and Blend, her smoothie and health food shop, which is a symphony of contrasts. just like her. The decor is a hybrid between urban chic and bohemian flair. Reclaimed wood and exposed brick juxtaposed with graffiti murals and neon signs. The scent of fresh fruits and herbs wafts through the air, blending with the subtle undertones of incense. Bob Marley serenades from the speakers, while a TV, mounted in the corner, is paused on a TED Talk about quantum physics. As Yumi steps behind the counter, her employees, a collection of free spirits, academic overachievers, and down-to-earth pragmatists, greet her with genuine smiles. To them, Yumi is more than just a boss. She's an enigma they've all tried to figure out, but ultimately respect for her complexity. Zara, the barista, morning, Yumi. You look like you had a fun night. Yumi, you have no idea, Zara. If only nights could talk. She pulls up her sleeve to wash her hands, revealing a splash of neon paint still clinging to her skin from last night's party. Yet as she dries off and dons her apron, it's clear she's switching modes, becoming the detail-oriented businesswoman who knows her inventory down to the last chia seed. Juice of the Bulletproof Fixer, Chapter 2, The Lingering Echo. Scene 1, Intriguing Resonance. The atmosphere inside Pulse and Blend is unlike any other day. A peculiar energy hums in the air, and Yumi senses it's coming from within her. Ever since she attended the underground EDM show, where she saw Tony's captivating performance in the cage and later consumed that mystical smoothie, her senses have been sharpened, almost like she's attuned to a different frequency of the world. She stares at the blender as it pulverizes a mix of fruits and vegetables, the vortex inside the machine mirroring the whirlpool of thoughts in her mind. Tony's enigmatic demeanor, his surprising agility in the ring, and the strange coding sequence on his phone flash through her mind in rapid succession. Could it be a coincidence that she felt so alive and so different after drinking that strange smoothie? Yumi, what was that recipe? It didn't just make a drink, it created an experience, a transformation. And why do I keep replaying that night in my head? Especially Tony's part in it. May, her co-worker and confidante, notices Yumi's distant look. May, hey, you alright? You've been acting kinda zoned out today. Yumi, yeah, I'm fine, just thinking about some new ingredients we could try. May, well, you're the smoothie wizard here. If anyone can make magic happen, it's you. Yumi smiles. If only May knew the extent of the magic she's been grappling with. Scene 2, A Questionable Offer. The door chime rings, heralding the arrival of a new customer. A guy in his late 20s walks in, sporting a man bun and a t-shirt that reads, "The future is female." He gazes at the menu with keen interest and eventually orders an empowerment smoothie, one of Yumi's special concoctions designed to uplift the spirit. As he waits for his drink, he starts up a conversation with Yumi about everything from sustainability to equal rights. He introduces himself as Jeremy. He seems to epitomize the male feminist persona, articulate, respectful, and ostensibly progressive. But there's something in the way he holds eye contact, a fraction too long, or the faintest air of self-satisfaction in his tone, that unsettles Yumi. Jeremy, you have a pretty enlightened menu here. It's great to see businesses taking steps toward greater social awareness. Yumi, thanks, I believe in making a positive impact, one smoothie at a time. Jeremy, very cool. You know, I overheard you on the phone earlier, talking about sourcing some rare root. I might know a place where you can get it. The mention of the root instantly piques Yumi's curiosity. She's been searching high and low for this elusive ingredient that could be the final puzzle piece to recreating the mysterious smoothie. Yumi, oh, really? That's incredibly generous of you to offer. We've had supply issues for a while now. Jeremy, consider it my good deed for the day. So, are you up for a little adventure after work? Yumi eyes Jeremy cautiously. His offer is tempting. The root could be vital for her experimental recipes. But the vague sense of wariness she feels toward him complicates the decision. It's like standing at a crossroads, except each path is shrouded in mist, and all she has to guide her is an unsettling blend of intuition and intrigue. Yumi, you know what? Sure, let's go for it. But if this is some ploy to upsell me into buying a timeshare or joining a pyramid scheme, I'm out. Jeremy, no tricks, I promise. Just a bit of harmless fun and the prospect of unearthing something extraordinary. Unbeknownst to Yumi, her answer will set the stage for a series of events that will unravel her normal life and plunge her into a world of enigma and peril. By expanding on these two scenes, we delve deeper into Yumi's mindset and the mysterious aura that now surrounds her. Jeremy's introduction and his ambiguous intent add another layer of complexity, setting the groundwork for the more dangerous chapters to come. Juice of the Bulletproof Fixer, Chapter 2, The Lingering Echo. Scene 3, The Allure of Adventure. Jeremy's eyes light up, and for a moment Yumi catches a glimpse of something more enigmatic behind his genial facade. Her heart races, part thrill and part warning, but her untamed spirit latches onto the idea of a new adventure. Jeremy, fantastic. How about we meet up after you close shop? The place I know isn't too far from here, but it's well hidden, like a treasure waiting to be discovered. Yumi, sounds promising. As long as this treasure is as good as you make it sound, I'm all in. The rest of the day feels like a countdown. Yumi goes about her usual tasks, blending smoothies and serving wraps and bowls to her regular customers. But her mind keeps drifting. She keeps thinking about the root, the rare ingredient that has eluded her for so long. And then her thoughts drift back to Tony, the enigmatic fighter with mysterious skills. Could this route be a bridge that links her present to the mysteries she witnessed that night? May, girl, you look like you're going on a first date. Got any exciting plans for tonight? Yumi, oh, you could say that. I might have found a source for that route we've been looking for. Going on a little quest to find it. May, a quest. You really do treat this job like a magical adventure, don't you? Yumi, you have no idea, May. No idea. Scene 4, Into the Trap. The evening sky fades into shades of deep blue and indigo as Yumi locks up pulse and blend. Her excitement is tinged with a nebulous sense of unease, but she shrugs it off, attributing it to the general unpredictability of her upcoming adventure. She meets Jeremy, who's waiting nearby, seemingly just as eager as she is. Jeremy, ready for your treasure hunt? Yumi, as ready as I'll ever be. Jeremy leads her into the labyrinthine side streets of the city. They walk through dimly lit alleys, where the graffiti on the walls seem to whisper secrets, and the city's normal sounds fade into an eerie silence. Yumi's thoughts drift back to her friend May's philosophical musings about standing at the edge of a cliff. Right now, Yumi feels like she's teetering on the edge of something monumental, whether a revelation or a catastrophe, she can't yet tell. Finally, they arrive at a dilapidated building that looks like an old warehouse, half swallowed by the shadows of taller, more imposing structures around it. Jeremy, ladies first. The gesture strikes Yumi as overly performative, but she brushes aside her suspicion and steps inside. The minute she crosses the threshold, her worst fears come to life. The cavernous space is dimly lit, revealing a gathering of rough-looking individuals. At the center stands a hulking figure, Brutus, who exudes an aura of menace. Brutus, so you're the smoothie girl who's been sniffing around for the special route. Ha, you're trespassing on our turf now. Yumi, what the hell is going on? Jeremy, what is this? Jeremy, sorry, Yumi. Business is business, and these routes fetch a high price on the black market. Yumi's pulse quickens, her eyes darting across the room as she evaluates her options. Cornered and betrayed, she thinks about Tony, the enigmatic boxer hacker. How would he navigate this treacherous situation? And as she stands there, surrounded by imminent danger, she senses her life pivoting on the edge of a knife. One false move, and everything could come crashing down. These expanded scenes bring us closer to the pivotal moments where Yumi's relatively simple life starts unraveling. Her decision to trust Jeremy puts her in peril, setting the stage for her to confront dangerous realities she's never before had to face. As she stands there in the warehouse, her thoughts drift back to Tony, hinting at a deeper connection yet to be explored. Juice of the Bulletproof Fixer, Interlude, Echoes of the Past. Overview. In a tense moment of life or death crisis, Yumi's thoughts involuntarily flash back to her childhood, where her parents insisted she learn some form of martial arts. She recalls those days with a mix of resentment and nostalgia, especially her younger self's disdain for the disciplined regimen. Yet, as her muscle memory kicks in, she evades her would-be captors with uncanny agility, and makes a narrow escape. She rushes to May's house, where both girls realize that the stakes have risen beyond their understanding. They agree that they must find Tony, the enigmatic man from the EDM show, as he might be the key to the unfolding mystery. Eager yet apprehensive, they decide that their next stop is the underground EDM scene. But first, they prepare for the adventure by donning their most eclectic and captivating street fashion attire, ready for a night that promises excitement, danger, and answers. Expanded interlude. As Brutus lunges toward her, a haze of memories clouds Yumi's mind. She's back in her parents' living room, awkwardly positioned in a martial arts stance. Her dad is encouraging her, while her mom watches with a critical eye. Young Yumi rolls her eyes, finding the whole ordeal pointless and embarrassing. She had wanted to hang out with her friends or explore new smoothie recipes even back then, not practice punches and kicks. Young Yumi, why do I have to learn this stuff? It's boring. Mother, you never know when you might need it. Life doesn't always give you a choice. Back in the present, Yumi's body moves on its own accord. The techniques she thought she had forgotten come alive, a dance of evasion and deflection. She ducks under Brutus' grab, sidesteps another thug, and uses her compact build to navigate through the crowd. Her feet carry her to the exit, heart pounding as she bursts through the door into the night air. After a few precarious turns and twists through the city's maze-like streets, Yumi finally arrives, breathless, at May's doorstep. May opens the door, alarmed at the sight of her visibly shaken friend. May, Yumi, what happened? You look like you've seen a ghost. Yumi, it's a long story, but we need to find Tony. I think he's the key to all this craziness. May, Tony, the cage-fighting, code-typing mystery man. All right, let's do this. But first, if we're diving into the underground EDM scene, we better look the part. The two friends venture into May's walk-in closet, a treasure trove of unique street fashion finds. They select outfits that scream individuality and flair, from holographic jackets to neon platform shoes. Accessories are picked with care, each piece a statement of its ethos. They're going into the night as avatars of their most fearless selves, armored in fabric and style. May, are you ready for this? Yumi, as ready as I'll ever be. Let's go find our mystery man and get some answers. Dressed to captivate and fortified by a newfound resolve, Yumi and May set off for the underground EDM district. Both are aware that they are stepping into uncharted territory, a world pulsating with beats, risks, and enigmas. Yet they also know that the keys to their questions lie hidden in its depths, waiting to be unearthed. As they leave, Yumi takes a deep breath, feeling the gravity of the moment. She's crossing another threshold, propelled by an invisible force that's been nudging her since the night she first saw Tony. Her eyes meet May's, and in that fleeting moment of shared anticipation, they step out into the night, clueless yet hopeful, as the city's neon lights flicker like distant stars. This interlude serves as both a breathing space and a hinge in the story, shifting the focus from Yumi's ordinary life to the extraordinary path she's about to tread. The flashback serves to highlight Yumi's unacknowledged preparedness for the chaos she's stepping into, while her relationship with May is cemented as that of trust and companionship. Both girls are prepared for what lies ahead, even if they don't yet know what that is. Juice of the Bulletproof Fixer, second interlude, rumors and revelations. The electric ambience of the EDM district. The EDM district is more than just a neighborhood, it's an explosion of sensations and an arena for self-expression. Entering the area feels like stepping into another dimension, a space that transcends the boundaries of the typical urban landscape. The air is thick with the scent of youth and rebellion, tinged with the aroma of street food vendors offering exotic delicacies. Holographic billboards dance above their heads, flashing ads for the latest and most audacious underground shows. Flickering neon lights bathe the narrow, graffiti-filled lanes in an eerie yet seductive glow. Walls are canvases showcasing avant-garde art, and every square inch is a testament to someone's creative vision. Flickers of lasers cut through the mist, filling the air with ethereal streaks of color, while drones fly overhead, capturing the frenetic energy below. Amidst this kaleidoscope of stimuli, Yumi and May make their appearance, and they are nothing short of resplendent. Yumi's neon crop top illuminates her slender figure like an otherworldly aura. It pairs perfectly with her graffiti-style leggings, which appear as if lifted straight out of a street artist's sketchbook. A pair of retro-futuristic shades sits perched on her forehead, while chunky combat boots complete the ensemble, adding an edge of toughness to her whimsical get-up. She's a walking contrast, a burst of carefree energy wrapped in an enigma, as charismatic as she is elusive. May, her inseparable sidekick, is just as striking. Her multicolored hair, a cascading waterfall of neon hues, flows down to her shoulders, seemingly absorbing and reflecting the ambient light in a magical way. A futuristic visor covers her eyes, its LED lights pulsing in tune with the beats from nearby speakers. Her silver mesh top and holographic skirt make her look like a digital sprite, but her fingerless gloves and spiked choker reveal that she's far from vulnerable. Together, they are an embodiment of the district's ethos, audacious, rebellious, and enigmatic. Tonight, however, they're not just part of the pulsating crowd losing themselves in the beats and lights. They're on a quest, something that transcends the ordinary adventures of their usual night outings. The mission: to delve deeper into the enigma that is root and, perhaps unbeknownst to them at this moment, to unravel the deeper mysteries of Tony, the enigmatic man who is somehow tied to it all. Their outfits, thus, serve as more than just fashion statements. These are their armors, carefully curated to make them fit yet stand out in this bewildering world. With every step they take through this underground Eden, the weight of their purpose adds a layer of intensity to their demeanor. They're not just mingling, they're investigating, their senses alert for any clues that could draw them closer to their elusive goals. As they weave their way through the crowd, Yumi can't help but feel like she's a piece of a much larger puzzle. As the bass drops and the crowd erupts in a symphony of cheers and movements, Yumi catches a fleeting glance from a masked DJ on a makeshift stage. It's as if the universe is affirming that they're on the right path, a sentiment echoed by May's reassuring nod. Tonight, in the electric ambience of the EDM district, they are more than just attendees. They are seekers, and the district, mysterious, inviting, and ever so dangerous, awaits to unveil its secrets. The two women exchange a knowing look, aware that the night is young and full of promises. This is just the beginning, and as they plunge deeper into the heart of the district, they can't shake off the feeling that their lives are about to change in ways they can't even begin to fathom. Juice of the Bulletproof Fixer, second interlude, rumors and revelations. Gathering clues, the DJ and the bartender. As Yumi and May enter the dimly lit club, its atmosphere immediately engulfs them. The venue is renowned for showcasing avant-garde DJs, and tonight is no exception. It's a complex crossbreed of sonic architecture and visual stimuli. Multiple projection mappings flirt with reality on the walls, transforming the club into a cathedral of unreal geometries. Artists are showcasing work in corners, the pieces themselves responding to the beats in real time, digital art fluctuating with the rhythm. They head towards the DJ booth, which seems more like an altar in this reverent underworld church. The DJ, a figure whose identity is shrouded by the thick haze of mist and a dense cluster of neon dreadlocks, is in the middle of crafting an immersive sonic experience. The beats are a sophisticated mesh of traditional EDM and experimental noise, leaving the crowd in a trance-like state. Yumi spots a window of opportunity during a momentary switch in the DJ's set, a lull that interrupts the pervasive thumping. With an easy grace, she makes her way to the DJ booth, leaning in slightly so her words can reach him over the background noise. Yumi, that last track was fire. By the way, you wouldn't happen to know a guy named Tony. The DJ momentarily halts his rhythmic swaying to look at Yumi, his eyes masked behind holographic visors that display scrolling lines of code. As if contemplating whether to reveal sacred lore, he finally speaks. DJ, Tony. That guy's a living legend here. People call him the Fixer. If you find yourself cornered, he's the one to bail you out. But, he's got this unspoken war against the mob and the triads. Like an anti-hero sprung to life from some indie graphic novel. Yumi's eyes narrow, her mind processing this unexpected yet intriguing confirmation. It was more than just street talk. Tony was a figure of almost mythic proportions in this world. She thanks the DJ with a nod and a clandestine smile, blending back into the crowd, which has resumed its collective dance as the DJ kicks off another hypnotic track. May, who has been carefully observing from a distance, approaches her. Wow, Yumi, this Tony character, is turning out to be something else. They decide it's time for their next inquiry, leading them to a place that is both a club and an art gallery. The atmosphere changes from sensory overload to a more cerebral kind of edgy. Large canvases hang from the walls, the art bold and abstract, each piece a vivid dialogue between color, form, and space. Some even shift and transform, driven by hidden tech behind the canvas. Behind the bar is an androgynous figure. Their face is a work of art in its own right, silver eyeliner, carving sharp angles around the eyes, iridescent shadows lending an ethereal aura, and digital piercings that change colors in a mesmerizing pattern. Yumi decides to cut straight to the chase this time. Heard of Tony the Phantom? Bartender, Tony the Phantom, The guy's an enigma. Brilliant hacker, some say he's infiltrated unbeatable systems. When it comes to a fight, he's like a guerrilla warfare specialist. Swift, brutal, calculated. But here's the thing, he only fights for causes he deems worthy. As Yumi and Mei share a glance, they realize they've not only added pieces to the Tony puzzle, but have been drawn deeper into a maze that may not have a straightforward exit. The bartender's description, layered over the DJ's account, constructing a multifaceted view of Tony. He was both the metaphorical sword and shield of this clandestine community, a paradox, a riddle, a walking contradiction. The information was valuable but also unsettling. It was clear that Tony was not just a figure of underground folklore, he was a hyperreal entity entangled in networks of crime, warfare, and perhaps even revolution. And whether they liked it or not, Yumi and Mei understood that their paths would somehow converge with this shadowy figure, sooner or later. Leaving the bar, both women feel a silent pact tightening its knot. The night had taught them that the EDM district was not just a haven for the nocturnal youth, it was a layering of countless worlds, each holding its mysteries, dangers, and legends. And Tony, it seemed, was the enigmatic thread binding these layers together. The gravity of their newfound knowledge settles on them like an invisible cloak. The maze they've entered is deeper than they initially thought, and the stakes are steadily escalating. Yet, for Yumi and Mei, turning back is no longer an option. As they step out into the neon-lit night, their faces are etched with resolve. The narrative they are becoming a part of is far bigger than them, and in that thought, there's both exhilaration and trepidation. Their quest for clues may be over for the night, but the real journey has only just begun. Juice of the Bulletproof Fixer, second interlude, rumors and revelations. The unspoken pact and lingering questions. Mei and Yumi find themselves standing on the outskirts of the pulsating EDM district. The fading beats are drowned out by the gravity of the conversation they are about to have. The lead-laden crowds and the ambient glow from neon signs serve as a distant backdrop, almost like a parallel universe that's rapidly fading away. Mei, Yumi, this guy sounds intense. Do we really want to get tangled up in this? Yumi takes a moment, her gaze wandering off into the labyrinthine streets they've just exited. Her eyes, usually so focused and clear, are awash with a complex mix of curiosity, intrigue, and a hint of vulnerability. Yumi, Mei, this isn't just about finding the root anymore. It's about understanding why we've been pulled into this orbit of chaos and secrecy. And besides, I'm drawn to him in a way I can't explain. Yumi's words hang in the air, a confession of sorts that gives voice to the complexity of their situation. Her sentiments seem to be fueled by something deeper than mere intrigue, a magnetic force that defies logical reasoning. Mei, alright, if we're diving deep into this, we better be prepared for whatever storm we're about to step into. The intensity in Mei's voice underlines the unspoken pact between them. They had started this quest for different reasons, Mei, initially out of friendship and concern for Yumi, and Yumi, driven by an irresistible allure she couldn't fully articulate. However, the revelations of the night have bound them in a mutual understanding that their pursuit of Tony, a figure so shrouded in myth and reality, is bound to be a transformative journey for both of them. May takes out her phone and scrolls through a forum dedicated to underground events and subcultures. A post catches her eye, a cryptic message about an upcoming clandestine gathering where Tony is rumored to make an appearance. May, look at this. If the information here is to be believed, Tony might be at a ghost party next weekend. These parties are invite-only, decentralized events that float around various locations. Do you think we should go? Yumi, if the universe is giving us a sign, who are we to ignore it? The two women nod in agreement, fully aware that they are on the cusp of venturing further into unknown territory. Their anticipation is tinged with a mixture of fear and excitement, creating a heady, emotional cocktail that neither can easily shake off. As they exit the district, the kaleidoscopic panorama of the EDM world recedes into a cluster of dimming lights and dissipating beats. But as the soundscape of their night out fades, another one amplifies in its stead the internal symphony of their shared resolve and the unanswered questions that riddle their paths. They both know that their next steps will inch them closer to Tony, the enigmatic savior of the streets, and they can't shake off the feeling that this mysterious man is bound to their destiny in ways they have yet to comprehend. This intricate web of stories, street lore, and rumors serves to deepen Yumi and May's journey. They are not just seeking answers, but venturing into an increasingly complex labyrinth of danger, ethics, and enigma. Their eventual meeting with Tony is no longer a matter of if, but when, and the implications of that encounter loom large as they step into the night. End of Part 3, Expanded. Juice of the Bulletproof Fixer, Third Interlude, What Ifs and the Unveiling. What might lay ahead? As Yumi and May navigate their way through the city's serpentine maze of streets, they're both keenly aware that every choice they make reverberates through the invisible network of fate. What if they decide to attend the ghost party? Would that plunge them further into the underworld's labyrinth or provide them with the missing pieces to understand Tony's complex puzzle? And what of Yumi's mundane world? Will her quest in the EDM district cause her to miss her morning shift at the cafe, unraveling the semblance of normalcy she maintains? Who is Tony? Tony the Fixer, or Tony the Phantom as he is otherwise known, seems to occupy multiple dimensions at once. To some, he is a crusader, hacking into impenetrable fortresses of data to uncover injustice. To others, he's a tactical genius, orchestrating acts of vigilantism with the precision of a master conductor. To the criminal world, he is a fearsome adversary, a ghost in the system that disrupts their illicit endeavors. No one knows his real name or his backstory. Some even question whether he's real at all. Who is Brutus? In the shadowy corners of the same forums that May has been scouring, another name appears with increasing frequency, Brutus. Unlike Tony, Brutus is not shrouded in secrecy. He wants people to know exactly who he is, a ruthless mob enforcer whose reputation for violence is surpassed only by his cunning. Rumor has it that he has become increasingly focused on unmasking Tony, regarding the elusive Fixer as a personal affront to his dominion over the city's underworld. What is the root? The root is whispered to be a mysterious and potent digital artifact, rumored to have the power to give the possessor unprecedented control over various interconnected systems, financial, digital, and perhaps even human consciousness itself. While its existence is unconfirmed, the allure of such an object or concept has various players in the underworld scrambling to find it, including Tony and possibly even Brutus. Will Yumi make it to her shift on time? As Yumi and May exit the vanishing world of the EDM district, Yumi's phone buzzes with a calendar reminder, morning shift at 9 a.m. A cold streak of reality runs down her spine. The sun will rise in just a few hours, and the mundane world will expect her to take her place behind the counter, serving coffee and pastries as if she hadn't spent her night plunging into the depths of the city's darkest secrets. May, you look worried. What is it? Yumi, my morning shift starts soon. I can't afford to lose this job, but this. She waves her hand, vaguely gesturing to the vanishing world behind them. This feels too important to ignore. May, then we find a way to balance both worlds, just like Tony must have done. And who knows, maybe solving one mystery will bring clarity to the other. Yumi, you're right. This is a dual world we live in, reality and enigma, mundanity and adventure. One shouldn't have to negate the other. They both nod, understanding the commitment they've made to this high-stakes duality. Yumi quickly books a rideshare on her phone. As they speed back to her apartment for a quick change, she can't help but think how much her life has veered off its predictable course. A few hours of sleep and then she'll head to her morning shift, but her thoughts will be miles away, tangled in a web of possibilities, digital shadows, and the ever-looming enigma of Tony and Brutus. And so, they step into the rising dawn, each moment a choice, each choice a path leading to an inscrutable future. End of third interlude.